Welcome to Tad Talks with your host, Tad West.
Hello and everybody, welcome back to the ranch. I'm your host with Tad Talk with Tad Western. I'm Tad Western for Tuesday, Taco Tad Tuesday, September 18th. I did take off Monday. I had a bad case of the Mondays yesterday after a long weekend. I decided I was going to lay down on the couch, read some news stories, do a little show prepperoni, which I normally don't do, which was kind of late at night because I went and I did quite a bit of laundry yesterday. Took the dogs for a nice long walkers, and I got back home and I laid down on the couch, which was a mistake. Anytime I lay on the couch, it's like Tadderall. It just puts me to sleep. Oh, but no. I'm back now, so who cares? Sometimes you just gotta take off a day or two, or one, or whatever. Who cares? I'll give you guys a Friday show. Don't hold me to that though. But anyway, welcome back. Today is Tad Talk 36. If you would like, subscribe, share with a friend if you enjoy these. The last podcast I came to you live from the Big Hoss of Freedoms news studio in beautiful Newcastle, Indiana, and that was a Sunday morning episode which we live streamed, which is getting huge reviews, huge ratings, huge video following. We live streamed it off of Mevo or whatever the hell it's called, and apparently people were loving it. So thanks to all the fans out there who can't get enough of their Tadderall and their Taddix, and they they tuned in on a Sunday morning weekend show, which was awesome. But yeah, I woke up Saturday morning in the poolside palatial estates of Mr. Morrill's beautiful home, and I took a nice morning whiz, and then I poured a little shot, and he was like, "You want to check out the studio?" I said, "Sure, let's go check it out." Hopped in, he goes, "You want to do a podcast?" All right, I'm Tad Western, I'm always prepared. So I had about 3 things written down, and I wrote down about 2 other things on the way there, and I said, you know what? I could probably rant for about an hour, but I apologize if it wasn't my best. It was my first live on camera, and I normally, when I do these podcasts, I kind of stop and I'll read the story. Well, I don't really read the story, but I'll stop and try to gather some thoughts in between stories. But hell, when you're flowing live and freestyling it, you got to kind of just go with the wind. So I was at some points I was trying to gather my thoughts together like I don't know, let's see here, like a pimp whose whorehouse had just been hit by a tornado. I was trying to gather up all my thoughts, and that's why I was, buying time if you going but hey, it turned out pretty good. We took a few calls. The call-in system's pretty nice. I think I'm going to have to upgrade the Tad Talk studios live here at the ranch so I can go if you guys want to see me go live. I think I'm going to get a video in the Mevo. I don't know. Maybe invest a little bit in the old Tad Western studios here. But, oh, man, we've got a lot to talk about. It was a beautiful Sunday after we recorded the podcast. We went out to Stack's. That is a pancake joint. It used to be... It had 2 sides at one point. It did house a strip club at one point, too, which went by the same name. Actually, it went by Stacked, and this pancake place served breakfast stacks in the morning. They're the only ones still in business because apparently they used to have the strippers when they weren't working at night. They would be the hostesses during the day, and then they'd serve the pancakes, and then, well, they all got old, so they all got pancake titties now, and nobody wants to see that shit at a strip club, so they went out of business, and they couldn't, I don't know, apparently they couldn't hire more younger, nubile, big titty hoes to be in there working. But I don't know. There was syrup everywhere, and it was wonderful, actually. $8. I had I don't know what I had. It was like the meat eater platter or something. It had sausage. It wasn't Jimmy Dean plastic sausage either. It was Tad Spectacular sausage. It had sausage, egg, bacon. I don't know what else was in there. Grits, or not grits, the hash browns. Come on, Tad, you fucking idiot. So yeah, we had breakfast there, and then I drove to the Big MC's house. He just purchased a new home in beautiful Fishers, Indiana. home of the fishers, and a ton of lakes and boats. But he got a new house. He was working on it. We watched Sunday football with B-Ball Ben 10, who is we're all in multiple fantasy football leagues together, so it's fun to talk shit. Actually, I was playing Mark this week, and every time one of my players scored, which was practically every second on the Red Zone channel, I would scream out the name of his team and say, "That's a rally snatch play." Just making fun of him, because he used to brag all the time about, "Oh, that's my player, that's a rally snatch play." So now, whenever I'm playing against him or one of my players scores, I like to heckle him and make fun and say, "You know what, that's a rally snatch play." So I have Melvin Gordon on my team. He scored like 3 fucking touchdowns or something yesterday, and completely, I think I won all 4 of my leagues, so sitting pretty in fantasy football. But why? I think I did make a prediction that the Colts were going to lose to who the hell they play, the Washington Sunburns. Yeah, I did make a pick, and I said I think it was going to be 28-14, which the Redskins looked like shit, but hey, the Colts defense actually looked pretty legitimate, and Darius Leonard played his ass off, who I believe he is a rookie this year, and he's gonna be a pretty good star. And the offense played really, really well. I was surprised they didn't really force the ball down the field, and they nickel and dime all the way down, and it turned out to be a pretty good game. Even though I believe Luck threw 2 interceptions, which I think one of them was tipped. But anywho's, Colts got the victory, first one of the year, so they've got about 4 more left before they can start talking shit to me. And I'll admit I was wrong but I'm still going to hold them to 5 games, because our conference is looking pretty good. Let's see here. What else? Might as well just go straight to NFL scores and NFL scoring and news. How about that? Week 2 of 17 in the NFL. We had the Ravens at the Bengals. The Bengals pulled that one out like they were ready to come all over the tits. The score was 34-23, which I picked the Ravens to win that game. I'm like 0 for 2 on my picks this year on Tad Talk, so if you're a betting person, go against whatever Tad picks, apparently. The Chiefs played the Steelers at the Steelers, and Patrick, I went to school with him, and he was pretty much my brother, so I call him my homie. He threw 6 fucking touchdowns. I think he has 10 touchdowns in his first 2 games of the NFL that he's started in the NFL, which is insane. He's just tearing it up. It was a fun game to watch, and it was the only game on Red Zone practically all day, because hell, there was no defense. They just kept chucking the ball. Every time you looked down the field, it was a touchdown or something. The Jets played the Dolphins. That was in New York or New Jersey, wherever the hell they play. Dolphins won 20-12, and the Dolphins are 2-0. Imagine that. That's crazy. They're flying under the radar at 2-0. Eagles were at the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers, Ryan Fitzmagic, he threw, I think, over 400 yards again and 4 touchdowns. He's absolutely tearing it up. Big story was after the game, he came out looking like Conor McGregor with Deshaun Jackson's gold chains on and a super ugly vest, which I don't believe was Deshaun Jackson's. There's no way, because Deshaun Jackson doesn't look like that big of a guy, and I'm pretty sure Ryan Fitzpatrick's like 6'5". I don't know. But his chest was shown. It was pretty neat. Saints and Browns. The Browns almost had a chance. They did have a chance to put it away, and I believe to tie the game, and missed a field goal. Turns out their field goal kicker was injured, but Hugh Brown had no idea, just like he had no idea that they were going to trade Josh Gordon, which Gosh Jordan gets traded to the Patriots for like a 5th-round pick, and they get the pick back if Josh Gordon doesn't play 10 games or something, or 5 weeks or something. There's some type of clause that Bill Belichick's like a used car salesman. He always throws in crazy clauses with his trades or when he signs a player. He's a master. He's a master manipulator. That's why he wins. Pardon me, that icy goodness. That's going to be... I am drinking a beer right now. I have to go play basketball here in about, hour and a half. So I'll be feeling good and nice and loose, but I'll probably be missing the rim. I don't know. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, Saints pulled it out, 21-18. Colts Redskins. Colts won 21-9. That's pretty good, holding the Redskins to 9 points. With the help of Jordan Reed fumbling, who's on my fantasy team. That didn't help me. I hated that. All right, Chargers beat the Bills 31-20. Oh, the big news story out of that game was not how bad the Bills suck, but how the former Colt Vontae Davis, he retired at halftime. The Bills were getting beat, and Vontae Davis just said, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm going home. So he went and took a shower, put on street clothes, drove, headed back home, I guess. I don't know what he did. Maybe he went to the bar and started drinking. I don't know, but could you imagine, I don't know, you're just, you're at your local bar and you're sitting there, everybody's watching the Bills game, and then Vontae Davis walks in, and you're like, what the fuck is Vontae Davis doing here? Weren't you just playing? He's like, yeah, bro, I quit. I retired. He didn't quit, he retired. So I thought that was hilarious. So he was pretty much pulled the biggest douche move of all time. Couldn't even stick it out. But, hey, they were better off without him. I think they only gave up like 10 points in the second half or something. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. Good for him, retiring, going on to do his thing. He played pretty well for the Colts for a while. I don't know what his stats were. Probably not. So, yeah, Chargers get the win. Melvin Gordon had 3 touchdowns. Oh, so sweet. My fantasy team. All right. In surprising fashion, the Vikings at Packers, they ended up tying, going to overtime, and then nobody could win because there's a lot of missed kicks this week. A lot of kickers losing their jobs, and I believe the Vikings just signed Dan Bailey. Who knew Tad Talk turned into a fucking NFL podcast? I guess, you got to do an NFL podcast once a week, Tad. So, yeah, they tied. Second week in a row that the NFL has had a tie ball game. Last week was the Browns. So the Browns are still, I guess they're 0-1-1. I don't know. Let's see here. Falcons beat the Panthers. That game, I was watching it, and Cam Newton got lit the fuck up. He got a helmet-to-helmet hit. He ran and slid, and Dante Kamikaze Kazy hit him helmet-to-helmet straight in the head after he slid, so he got ejected from the game. There was a big scuffle after that, which it was clear he just completely fucked up, and you can't really be doing that. But, you know what? The Falcons overcame, and they said, caca, caca, and they took a big fat bird shit all over the Panthers. Next, we had Texans at Titans. That game was pretty ugly to watch from what I saw. Titans ended up winning 20-17. So that's awesome. Rams beat the fuck out of the Cardinals. Teabagged the shit out of them. Gave them their horny goat weed. Teabag style. The Cardinals are the worst fucking team in the NFL. They've scored 6 points through 2 games, and they've given up, I forget what it was I just saw. They've given up like 60-something points. Maybe 64 or 65, but they're horrible. Shout out to the Rams. They're looking pretty damn good. Niners beat the Lions 30-27. I have no idea. I didn't even watch that game. Broncos beat the Raiders. Raiders starting out 0-2 since the big Jay Gruden let Khalil Mac Daddy Mac go. And the Bears, who he plays for, they won last night, 24-17. They looked damn good. So the Bears are 2-0, and the Raiders are 0-2. What the shit? Jaguars beat the Patriots, thank God, because nobody likes the fucking Patriots and butt-chin Tom Brady, at least not on this podcast. Yeah, they won 31-20. But the Patriots, they did just sign Flash Gordon, so we'll see. Maybe Tom Brady and him will hook up like him and Randy Moss did a few years back. All right, and then the Cowboys beat the Giants. The Giants suck. They're not too good. I don't know if it's their line or what it is. Their defense is horrible, but yeah, the Cowboys won 20-13. So this week Thursday, coming up Thursday, we've got the Jets at the Browns. And, if I was UPS, I would completely be sponsoring that game. Because they fly the Brown Jets, you know? They're, it's kind of like FedEx, except they're UPS planes and they're brown. So yeah, get on that. If anybody wants to send me a check for thinking of that, somebody get the CEO or, I don't know, whoever makes those decisions for UPS on the phone and tell them Tad needs a cut. All right, what else we got in news? Shit. All right. Today in Tad Talk News. Headline, Police say man who huffs spray paint accused of beating mother with a spatula. It's about time. It's payback, bitch, for all the times you hit me with Hot Wheels tracks. That's what I would have said if I was. They got a picture of this guy. I don't know if this is real. This has got to be real though. The picture, he's got chrome. Why would you huff chrome spray paint? I guess these guys are idiots anyway. They're huffing paint, Tad. Yeah, buy the clear shit. So that way you just look all shiny. But yeah, this guy was huffing chrome spray paint, it looks like. In West Virginia, imagine that. I was born in West Virginia. No, I was born a rambling man. I don't know what the West Virginia song is. I think John Denver, that's who it was. Not John Denver, he's full of shit. So the police say this man is well known and for frequently huffing spray paint and was arrested after he was accused of beating his mother in the head with a spatula. I wonder if this is Jessica White, because I used to huff gasoline for 9 long years. The doctor said it fried my brain. I got scrambled eggs for brains. I don't know. That's my wonderful Wild West Whites of West Virginia or whatever that show is. It's a great documentary. Go watch it. Glenn Allen Kasdorf, 30, was charged Friday with maliciously wounding. He wounded her? After an accident on McKinley Avenue. The hood. I guarantee you that. Police responded at 10:45 p.m. Nothing good happens after sundown in West Virginia. Thursday to investigate a report of domestic abuse with injuries. When officers arrived, the scene, Kasdorf was sitting on a bench in the front yard. He had large amounts of silver spray paint on his face, hands, and had a large steel bar in his hands. God damn. No, officers, I haven't been huffing paint. I've been sucking the shit off this, I've been practicing my blowjobs on this galvanized piece of pipe. That's what he said. The complaint, he's had numerous work-related encounters with Kasdorf, and they're aware that he frequently huffs spray paint. God damn, it must be nice. I wish I could just huff paint. His mother's head was wrapped with gauze, and there was a large amount of blood on her shirt and on the back of her neck. Police say that Robin was not transported by ambulance after the incident. He was taken to the police department and is being held on $10,000 bail. All right, so we got this asshole off the street, huffing paint. Why did they say it was a spatula? They said it was a spatula, but then he had a metal, large steel bar in his hand. So was he just using this galvanized steel bar as a spatula? Was he cooking with it? I don't know. So many questions. I have more questions of what was answered. Here we go. This is out of Nevada. If this stupid fucking thing would load. Police. Vegas college professor shot himself to protest Trump. This guy, you know what? He should have shot himself in the head. It's like that campaign. Protest Donald Trump. Jump off a bridge. The professor is facing felony charges after shooting himself on a Nevada campus last month. Police say he claimed the action was to protest the president, Donald Trump. Why didn't he just go to President Trump's casino and jump off of it? Scientology professor. I'm half drunk already. Sociology professor Mark J. Bird, 69. He's 69. What? Don't you think you grow up? Who would have thought 69-year-olds would have Trump derangement syndrome? Crazy enough to shoot yourself. He was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound outside of a bathroom. He did it in the bathroom? Why don't you do it in front of your students, you pussy? At the College of Southern Nevada, where he has taught since 1993. He was charged with discharging a gun within a prohibited structure, carrying a concealed weapon without a permit, and possessing a dangerous weapon on school property. Larry Silver posted on the college's Facebook page, I am paying for my daughter to attend this college, and my hope is that she will be safe while attending. Well, she better not be a Trump supporter, and she might get shot in the arm. It's obvious you have staff with serious mental issues. I hope you relieve them of their duties ASAP. So he shot himself. He collapsed and was bleeding. He shot himself inside the bathroom. They found a $100 bill taped to the mirror with a note reading, for the janitor. And on the floor there was a .22 caliber handgun, spent shell chase. So he shot himself in the arm with a .22, which is pretty much like getting your nose pierced. I mean, come on. What a fucking cuck. Alright, so that's good for him. He shot himself in the head. Do us all a favor. Alright, and other crazy people shooting guns off in places where they shouldn't be shot off. Man accidentally shoots himself in a Tacoma Chucky cheese. Wow, I always thought it was Chucky, like Chucky. No, E is, I wonder what E stands for. Chucky cheese. E's his middle initial. Is it E. coli? Is it or no, that's an E, Ted. I don't know. Elephant? Okay, anyway, Tad, quit trying to come up with jokes on the spot. You should probably write these down before you start pressing record. A 22-year-old man was hospitalized after he accidentally shot himself in the ball pit of a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant. It doesn't say he was in the ball pit. I made that up. The shooting happened about 5:20 in the restaurant. Oh, 5:20. That would have been 4:20 West Coast time at the Tacoma Mall Boulevard. A bunch of people started running. And he was quoted saying, "I'm just playing Time Crisis." I love Time Crisis. That used to be the best game of all time. I'd spend like $40 trying to beat that game, where you had the blue and the purple gun, then you had the foot pedal where you hit it and you duck, and you have to duck in between the shit. That was like one of the sweetest shoot 'em up games of all time. Jones dashed to find his 4-year-old son. The father and son were celebrating a niece's birthday. Yeah, these are people saying, holy shit, we thought somebody was shooting this place up. Turns out he was just imitating Plexico Burress and shot himself in the leg, and no one else was wounded. Some parents were wondering, why the fuck are you carrying a gun in a restaurant that caters to kids? And he said, you don't know when these kids are going to try to steal tickets or who's going to shoot up this place. Chuck E. Cheese is known for their great pizza. So he did have a concealed carry permit. Obviously, he had no idea how to conceal his weapon properly, and he was carrying the gun legally. So the restaurant could sue, and he could end up in civil court. All right, good for him. Hope he shot his nut off, because he doesn't need to be having any more kids. All right, here, a headline. New Orleans. Cat knocks out power to 7,500 people in New Orleans. A cat got into a utility company substation and came into contact with electrical equipment, knocking out electricity for the 7,500 New Orleans customers. I bet that electrical room smelled like fried pussy. Integrity New Orleans said on its website and social media posts that it happened Monday morning. New Orleans news outlets said that the outage had happened at 8:30 a.m. What a dick of a cat. What a dick. Right when everybody's getting ready for work, you gotta get on your old kitty cat. You gotta catwalk across the power line and fuck everything up. The utility said that it is unusual for a cat to get into a substation or to make it around protected devices. They said he was out prowling around, and the company added that when it happens, the animal doesn't survive. So yeah, he used up all 9 of his lives on that, acting like he was fucking, I don't know. What's a good movie where somebody gets electrocuted? I don't know. We'll just say he was acting like he was the, Black Panther, and he was trying to find some vibranium. All right, let's see here. More sports. Here's a sporting story. I don't know if you could really call long distance running a sport, especially when you when you're from Kenya. It's more of a way of transportation. Headline, world record runner Eliud Kipchoge. I'm just going to call him Kipchoge lifts lid on secret to marathon success. World record marathon runner Kipchoge, the Kenyan runner, set a new record in Berlin here, smashing the marathon in a mind-boggling 2 hours, 1 minute, and 39-second time. I know nothing about running. I assume that's fast, though, if he smashed a world record. Speaking of Nike, after the event, he's 33. Good for him. He looks like he's about 18. So, black doesn't crack, people. Speaking of Nike, after the event, the 33-year-old athlete has expressed just how he managed to keep up the speed. Steady, constant training, passion, and self-discipline. And he had a Snicker bar hanging out in front of him and a cheetah chasing him. The cheetah was sponsored by Cheetos. Self-discipline is about focusing and living a simple life. Of course, training is important, and more importantly is the passion you put into it. You have to have a strong belief that you were able to make it and be able to run this distance. That's the magic of the marathon. So his pace, he had left his competition in the dust by nearly 30 kilometers. Or by the 30-kilometer mark. I don't know how far 30 kilometers is. I assume it's 60 and a half miles. I don't know. Despite running the marathon in record-smashing style, the prolific athlete admitted he was not sure what lies ahead. Well, now he's, I don't know, he's going to go back to Kenya and, I don't know, try to outrun wild game. Pain is everywhere when you run a marathon, but you have to try to keep these thoughts out of your mind and concentrate only on the race, not the turd running down your leg from when you're shitting your pants at mile 49. I expected to run a world record, but I didn't expect the time of 2:01. He was just happy he ran under 2:02:57. Marathon is life. You're right. No, actually, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint, so I agree with him on that one. It's good for you, buddy. World record holder. Oh, and happier news. Actually, I don't. After this might be a world record. 5. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Baby squirrels rescued after being found tied together by their tails. Now, what kind of sick son of a bitch would do this? This looks like a windmill of squirrels, and they're all tied together by their tails. 5 infant squirrels have been rescued after being found tied together by their tails. This looks like a toy that somebody should make, and I can throw it to Kona, my dog, because Kona loves squirrels. And now if they all ran in the same direction, they could probably outrun him, but if not, he'd take a nice, sweet bite out of him. The entanglement is thought to have happened by chance, with the giant knot forming as the young greys moved out of their nest and each other. Grass, twigs, and bits of plastic from Jimmy Dean's sausages had also become interwoven into the entanglement. Oh, it's Bob Evans, not Jimmy Dean, you fucking idiot. A member of the public who discovered the bizarre scene in Wisconsin. This would happen in Wisconsin. This guy was drunk, I guarantee it. He took them to a wildlife rehabilitation center at the state's Humane Society, and the workers worked to get them free. You can imagine how wiggly and unruly these frightened, distressed balls of squirrely energy was. So our first step was to anesthesia. I cannot pronounce the word. Anesthesia. All 5 of them. They put them to sleep. Stop laughing. I can't say a word. The animals were out cold, and the vet spent 20 minutes unraveling the Gordian knot of squirrel and nest material. Wow, this is just a nutty story. It was impossible to tell whose tail was who, and we were increasingly concerned because all of them had suffered varying degrees of tissue damage to their tail. And they don't want... If you're a squirrel and you don't have a tail that's bushy, you're pretty much just a rat. Now they're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And we're going to monitor them for a couple days, and then we'll put them back out into the wild where they can get ran over by a car and chased by Tad Western's dog. So yeah, that news story turned out happy. Here's another happy headline. Australia investigates sewing needles in strawberries as consumers advised to cut into fruit before eating. What? I bet this is sowing distress among native Australians. Australia investigates sewing needles in strawberries. It appeared on... Okay, why do they fucking repeat the headline in these stories? Do they actually expect me to read all the way through these articles before I start reading them live on air? No. Australian authorities have ordered a review of the handling of strawberries after they see the fruit containing sewing needles turned up in supermarkets across the country. Somebody's name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Anastasia Palekskuk, Premier of Queensland State, also offered a reward of roughly $72,000 because that's all they had laying around, and it's no rhyme or reason why $72,000 for information leading to the arrest of whoever this dickhead is that's putting needles in strawberries. Why would you put needles? You're supposed to put like shards of glass or razor blades. That was what people always used to on Halloween, right? You put razor blades in Snicker bars, and the kids would bite into them. That's what the doctors would do, the dentist, because they want people to cut their teeth open. They get more business. Yeah, that's right. The dentists are behind all the evil tricks. At least they were in my neighborhood. Whoever is behind these is not just putting families at risk, they're putting the entire country at risk. And they're putting at risk strawberries, because it doesn't feel very good to be poked with fucking needles, I can tell you that. The first case of strawberry contamination sparked national fears. How many strawberries do people eat, really? Especially raw. You cut them up and you put them in some type of pie or something. Really? Severe Oh, they swallowed them. So yeah, you're going to have some severe abdominal pain after swallowing half a sewing needle lodged in a strawberry. How do you only swallow half of a needle? Was it pre-cut? Or did you just bite in half? I don't know. The strawberries were interfered with between the time they were packed and between the time they were purchased. Ooh, I bet this is going to be some crazy old lady who knits her own clothing, and she was like, I got to get rid of these needles. Back in the day, it used to be people with AIDS. They'd poke the needles and they put them in like movie seat cushions, and then when you go in to sit down, you'd sit down, just watch a movie, and you get poked in the ass with a needle, and then there'd be a little note laying under the seat when you got up and say, oh shit, and it'd say, congratulations, you got AIDS. Yeah, that's a true story. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard it. It's got to be true, right? Just like when people can just say, hey, you know what? I was 15 years old and somebody grabbed my titty. That's a whole nother story. We're not even going to get into that. Yeah, wait till the last minute lady to come out. Say, oh, he grabbed my titty. Oh, so Kavanaugh becoming a circuit court judge is fine for titty grabbing? No, he should be in jail and hung in the town square if he's a molester. But I don't think he is, so we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of this. I think Monday they're having a Kavanaugh hearing. She's going to testify. He's going to say, you know what? Bitch, you're crazy. Bitch, you crazy. You tripping. And then he'll probably end up getting confirmed. And then he's going to go full Clarence Thomas. Because they tried doing the same shit to him. Oh, we found a pube on a Coke can. And it looks like a black man's pube. Anyway, alright, that's enough politics for today's Tad Talk. And what else do we got? I'm heading out to play some basketball. Get some cardio on. Better finish this performance-enhancing Miller Lite before I head out to hit the hardwood. Don't want to pull a hammy, be all tight. You want to be nice and loose. So there's a Tad's tip of the day. If you're going out to do any athletic or aerobic activities, any sports, any, I don't know, yoga, anything like that, you want to be nice and limber and loose before you go out. Make sure you stretch. Tad's tip of the day is stretch out. You don't want to pull a muscle, because muscles pulled can't do any pulling when you need to be pulled, or when muscles need to work. So stretch out, have a good time when you're working out. So I always drink a beer. I call it my performance enhancer because it loosens up my muscles, it thins my blood. So if I get elbowed in the nose or anything, I will have a nonstop waterfall of blood. But that's about the only downside. And it makes you feel happy. And you don't really care too much about who wins or loses. It's all about the game of life. Like that guy from Kenya said, life's a marathon, not a sprint. Unless you're sprinting away from cheetahs in your home country of Kenya. All right. So, if you like Tad Talk with Tad Western, go ahead, like, subscribe, share on iTunes. I think you can see the video still on Facebook. Of the previous podcast I did. So go watch it if you want to see what I look like. Which I look pretty damn good for being up at 8 o'clock in the morning. And actually, I was up at like 7. I was up at 7. I brushed my teeth. I said, let's go podcast. So yeah, go check that out if you want, or don't. And I guess for Tad Western, I'm Tad Western. And remember, folks, keep them holstered unless you're ready for a shootout.